Welcome to the, to a after show, a unexpected but hopefully good pop-up after show with me and Lummy and Seth Kushner, who said he needs to replenish his batteries. He's low.
Yes, my social batteries.
Yes.
I got some, other stuff after this.
Big stuff happening.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Topgolf, got to hit some balls with the boys.
Woo! That actually is good for you to be doing stuff like that.
It's like, like playing golf?
No, like doing stuff with the dudes.
Yeah.
You know what? Why don't you and I start doing stuff?
Well, I mean, you don't really do. I mean,
I don't do anything because, I don't necessarily like a lot of people.
You know what? I talked to
a lot of people that I like. Larry Plummer doesn't live here. Sumo doesn't live here.
I mean,
I like Lummy, but he's so busy.
You want to go shooting?
Guns? Yeah.
No, bow and arrows. Yeah, guns.
Yeah.
Okay.
I talked to Craig and Rio yesterday about going bowling.
Yeah, Craig and Rio want to do a 3-point contest during March Madness, and then they want to do a bowling night with the Bubba Army.
I was talking to him. I said, "Hey, would you guys?" Well, somehow we talked about bowling, and then I think it's because of referee Fred, and then I said, "Hey, would you guys be up to playing the 3-point contest?"
I think we need to incorporate them on anything we can.
Well, that's what I.
That's because of the one. I think they're probably both fairly athletic.
Yes, they are.
And then two, if we were to ever do teams, we would put one we'd have to make rules where one team can't have both black guys. Like the black guy, we got to separate the black guys.
Oh, but
I'm taking Rio, man. Rio to the hoop all day.
But in bowling, Bubba, I mean, I think Rio's got the. I think Rio's got it.
I think Rio's probably more of an athlete than Craig.
What is with the separating the black guys like we're dealing with Kobe and MJ? Craig said that
Craig's got a natural curve,
with regards to our ability, we are dealing with Kobe and MJ.
Yeah, because Craig's got a natural curve on his ball. So, I mean, he may be the hustler.
Is Craig married and Rico? I'm sorry, and Rio's not?
Yeah, Rio's not married. He loves all the ladies. Yeah, Rio has, I think, 3 kids.
Rio has 3 kids, all grown?
No, he's got like a 5-year-old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
with like a baby mama.
I mean, not a baby daddy.
I think Rio used to cut my hair back in the day.
What the fuck? When did this just hit you?
When he first started, when we were talking about it, he used to work at the barbershop I went to back in the day in South St. Pete, and that's where he got his start. Ivy League, and he was telling me about it. And I remember when I went in there, they gave me the rookie, and he looked just like Rio. And I guess they would always give him the white guys, and that was me.
And so as a punishment, they would give him they would give Rio the white guys.
Yeah. That's what he kind of explained that to me after, but I just said, hey, I used to go in. They always said, yeah, you got to go to the rookie because we're all booked up, and that was when like the Ivy League place had all the boxers going in there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Floyd. It was not Floyd Mayweather. Whatever.
Winky
Wright, and the other guy, James Jones, I think it is, or something. But yeah, he told me he always got the white guys.
Kurt Angle has won 21 professional wrestling championships. 13 overall world championships. He's the only wrestler to have won WWE World Heavyweight Championship, WCW, TNA, IWGP, NCAA, and the first person to hold both the WWE and the TNA Triple Crown.
Whoa.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
I didn't realize that he was in TNA as long as he was. He was in TNA from literally... I think when Jeff Jarrett had it.
Yeah.
Prior to Dixie getting it.
He was there before you.
Oh, yeah, way before me. In fact, one of my questions is, hey, Kurt, be honest. How bad did the boys hate me? Like, just be on. Like, listen, you and I are boys. I'm going to probably say, Kurt, you've been doing my show longer probably than any other content or radio show in the history of your career. I started having you on like in 96, 97.
Wow.
I don't think he even he didn't start Extreme Championship Wrestling until 96.
You see, they're making a movie about him.
A documentary?
No, like a real motion picture.
Well,
really?
He called it it's on his life. So he called it when I talked to him. He called it a documentary. But
really,
all right, shit, man.
No. But it's a movie. It's a real life movie.
Someone's gonna play Kurt Angle, right?
Who's playing Kurt Angle?
That's a great question.
I thought I had that on there. Who does he want to play him?
It's in
there.
Okay, I didn't know what made the cut of what I sent in.
But the way he made it sound, he's like, "Oh, it's gonna be about my life." It's like a documentary movie. So.
Well, I think it's about his life, but I think it's kind of like 8 Mile, how that was, based on Eminem's life, but he played himself.
We need to ask him, who's going to be, who's going to play you? Some sawed-off little tough prick, Plus, you guys have to understand, man, Kurt and I have an unbelievable bond. I've been having him. We used to shoot angles, no pun intended, where I would have him on, then I would be flirting with Karen, and then we would allude to the fact that I blasted Karen at a pay-per-view and that I may have gotten her pregnant.
Who's Karen?
His ex-wife.
His first wife, who's now married to Jeff Jarrett.
That was back in 2006. Yeah, we got some of those clips.
Yeah, you should play them.
Wait, so you and Kurt Angle would joke about you banging his wife?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'd call him live, and she'd be in bed with him, and then he would fart underneath the covers and give her a Dutch oven. And then, Lummy, we have to have some of this on tape, and why we have not made shorts out of this.
We have made shorts of it.
Well, we need to remake them.
All right.
Especially with Kurt Angle getting a resurgence in popularity. We need to remake them. And then one time, I'll talk to him about this, but it was WrestleMania Toronto. I think it might have been 19. And it's where Hogan wrestled The Rock. Well, I think we alluded that me and Karen fucked. And Kurt was in on it. Not in on the fucking, but in on the, oh my God, there was a 3-hour span where I didn't know where Karen was. And then we were kind of giggling and what have not. And then and we knew that she was pregnant. And we would me and Kurt would hit angles like that.
What,
for real.
Or did people believe that she was cheating on Kurt with you?
Yeah.
They did believe that.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like a tall tale.
Kurt was cool as he was cool as hell about it.
Oh man, that's wild.
He's probably a little uptight about it now. Look how fucking mean he looks. Jesus Christ.
He must have just got out of the gym.
He must have just got out of maybe shooting 2 cc's of testosterone. Look at that son of a bitch.
Whoa.
What are you doing, buddy?
What's up?
I was telling the boys that out of all the shows you've ever done in your entire career, that I was one of the very first guys that started having you on regularly, to the point where I would call you and Karen in bed and you would fart and give her Dutch ovens live on the show. And one time we set this angle up where her and I supposedly messed around in Toronto, and it was when she was pregnant, and we had an angle going where it could be my kid. Or remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. You seem disgusted by it, if anything.
No, it's all in the past. It's all good.
You look good, man. You look good as hell.
Thanks. So do you.
Now, I know that you're one of the reasons why we're talking is that you're trying to raise money to get wrestling back in the Olympics. It just befuddles me how that's even a thing. How the fuck how did wrestling even get pulled from the Olympics? So they can have fucking stupid ass break date?
Brother.
Jesus.
You're on a different planet, dude. Saving wrestling, that occurred 20 years ago.
Oh,
it's not about saving.
I'm only as good as my stupid fucking producers. Yeah, I am on a different fucking planet. Lummy, you wrote down Kurt is raising money to have wrestling at the Olympics. He has a website that he's promoting. Lummy, now look how fucking stupid I look, Lummy. Lummy, what do you got to say?
All right,
he was trying to raise money for the U.S. team for the athletes, because the Neil deal, which was the one question for the U.S. wrestling.
Oh, okay.
The wrestling for the U.S. athletes to be able to afford to live on for the couple years to prepare for the Olympics.
Lummy, that's a far cry from raising money to have wrestling back at the Olympics. And thank God Kurt's such a good friend of mine that he just said, "Brother, you're on the wrong planet. You're really fucked up. Let me set you straight." So Kurt, we'll throw it over to you. Set me straight on how fucking stupid I am.
You're not stupid, bub. But you said it, I didn't.
Yeah.
No, what we're doing is we're raising money for USA Wrestling, for the men's and women's Olympic freestyle wrestling teams and the men's Olympic Greco-Roman wrestling team. I'll tell you something you probably don't know. Countries like China and Russia, their governments pay their Olympic athletes to train and compete full time. So they don't have to get jobs. They don't have to earn a living. All they have to do is train and compete, and they're taken care of. We don't have that luxury here in the United States. Our athletes, for the most part, have to get jobs, and they have to train around their work schedule. And that doesn't fare well for an Olympic athlete, because if you're working 8 to 10 hours a day, you're only going to have enough time to train 2-3 hours tops. So I'm raising money for USA Wrestling so these athletes don't have to get jobs, so that they can train full time and compete full time for the next 3 years, all the way up until the 2028 Olympics.
Now is the NIL, much like it's changed football, much like it's changed college sport, is it involved in like NCAA wrestling? Is that why Penn State's ruling the rule right now because they got the NIL deal?
Probably them in Iowa and Oklahoma. I think the big colleges are going to continue to prosper because of that. Because where I went, Clarion University, they're not going to fund a wrestler $1 million or $5 million. It's just not going to happen. But you could do, colleges like Penn State and Iowa, they're just going to get bigger and stronger. And I think the other teams are going to actually suffer a little bit due to NIL.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine if NIL was around, when Dan Gable and you and all these, Bruce Bumgardner and all these dudes, I mean, you guys virtually were, you were in full ride scholarships, but you weren't getting any other type of money at all.
No,
and if you were I think you were a 2-time gold medalist at 275, can you imagine the kind of money you could have gotten? You would have had schools stealing you away and paying you, right?
Yeah, it would have been a good time. I wish they would have started it back then, but unfortunately they didn't. But I'm glad it's here. I think these athletes should get paid, especially using their name and likeness, the colleges. When you have a football player's name on the back of a jersey and it's being sold at a university, that athlete should get a part of that money. I mean, it's just, that they're using the athletes' names and reputation to make money, and I think they should make money too.
Now, is there I know this one guy, his name's Brandon the Quad. He's a quadriplegic guy, and he's a huge Iowa Hawkeye fan, and he goes to all the Iowa Hawkeye games. He knows, or wrestling matches. He knows everybody, and he was saying, like, man, collegiate wrestling, there's some studs. There's like some guys that are 2 and 3 timers right now that might be 4 timers. Like, there's some really good guys right now in the hopper.
Oh, but not only that, you should see the kids in high school that are beating Olympians right now.
Wow, you're kidding me.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. They're high school kids that are beating NCAA champions. It's just it's crazy how good they're becoming at such a young age. The only thing that scares me about it is they're going to burn out. Being in high school and beating, Olympians, and you still have a big future in front of you, and you have a lot of wrestle matches that you have to continue to perform at. It could deter your career because you've been on top for so long. It's a grind. Wrestling's a grind, and when you're that successful, that young, I'll give you an example. My nephew Marky, 10 times better than I am. He was a state champion in high school. He was ranked number 1 in the nation 3 years in a row in college. He injured his knee all 3 years and ended up taking third 3 times. So he never won a national title, but he actually beat the Olympic silver medalist. The year that he won the Olympics or took second at the Olympics, he beat the Olympic silver medalist 15-0. He tech followed him, and my nephew had a huge career. He was going to be an Olympian, but he burned out. And he after college, he said, "I don't want to do it anymore." I was like, "Marky, you got to do it, man. You could be Olympic gold medalist."
Same guy down here, a guy named Eric Grahalis. He went to Michigan. And he was with that David Taylor. Him and that David Taylor guy would go back and forth for years. Yeah. And Eric Grahalis was a 4-time Florida State champion, was like 268-0, had never been beat, which, by the way, wore a Bubba Army sweatshirt on the podium when he won his senior year. And he went to Michigan. I think he finished second 1 or 2 years, was an All-American for 4. And then afterwards, he was like in the Roman Greco deal and all that kind of deal and the Olympic trials and all that kind of stuff. And he said he quit. He's like, I'm tired of cutting weight. He rolled around naturally like probably 65, but always had to cut to like 45. Just always on a diet, always cutting weight. And his dad owned an auto parts, like a mom and pop, fix your car kind of deal. And he said, I'd rather fix cars and change tires all day than I've been doing this since I was in, fourth grade, and I'm over it. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, a lot of kids end up like that, and it's unfortunate because wrestling is the toughest sport in the world. It really is.
Like if anybody has problems with their kid doesn't listen, they're not very tough, just enroll them in to wrestling. Because it toughens him up, and it's a team sport to an extent, but it's an individual sport, and it's you and that guy in the most combative way. You talk about now your kid might go, he might be the biggest fish ever and go 0-10, but just even competing will toughen your kid up.
Yes, it'll make him a better person, a better individual, more driven. It's the best sport in the world. And it's one of the hardest sports as well. So if you're going to do it, understand you're going to do a lot of hard work.
So folk style, what was your hardest match ever? Folk style.
Oh, gosh. I wrestled my freshman year. I wrestled a guy named Carlton Hasselrig. He was a 3-time NCAA Division I champion and a 3-time Division II champion. He was the reason why I redshirted my second year in college is because he was going to be a senior that year.
Right.
And I wanted to be a 3-time national champion, so I knew I couldn't beat him.
Right.
So I redshirted. But I wrestled him, and man, he was 280 pounds, and he moved like a cat. He wrestled like he was a lightweight. He was a heavyweight. I mean, the guy was so athletic and so versatile. He whipped my butt 8-3. It was the worst butt kicking I ever had in college, and but I did wrestle him again, and I ended up getting beat 5-4. That was my redshirt year, and so I was closing the gap on him, but he ended up going to the Steelers. And
you went to the Steelers too, though. People don't realize that you had a tryout.
He's the reason why the Steelers took a look at me.
Oh, okay.
Carlton was an 8-time All-Pro for the Steelers, and he was a lineman. What I was trying out for with the Steelers was a skill position, running back.
Right.
So you have to have college experience to be able to get drafted or get picked up by a team if you're going to be if you're a skilled player. If you're on the line, you're still skilled. Obviously, you're an NFL football player, but Carlton didn't have to because of his wrestling ability. That was very identical to playing line because you're face to face with a wrestler when you're wrestling on the mat, just as you are on the football field. The linemen are facing each other. So it was an easy transition for Carlton, but for me, I had to have college experience. It just wasn't going to happen.
Now, Kurt, one thing we never hear about, and I hope it's not a bad topic because I don't know. I simply don't know the answer. And of all the years we've talked, I've never asked, but did you have a dad that really pushed you to wrestling? Was your dad tough as nails? I mean, if you end up being tough as nails and Mikey's tough as nails, I got to think that it's in the family. And did you have a dad that was a wrestler?
Yeah. He didn't wrestle. He played football, but he was the baddest dude on the planet. We all feared him. Even my brother Mark, is the biggest badass I've ever known. Never lost a fight in his life. He actually, real quick story. 8th grade, he was 5'11", 190 pounds in 8th grade.
In 8th grade,
and he was built. He was jacked, and he was a kid in an adult's body.
Was he older? Was he older than you?
Yes, he was 14 years older than me.
Oh man!
And he beat up 2 cops in 8th grade. And he got arrested. He actually stole a bike, and they caught him.
Right.
And he beat both of them up, and he got on his bike and rode home. And the cops knew who he was.
Sure.
So there were cops waiting for him at my house. And I remember playing outside. My brother Mark getting jacked up against a police car and got handcuffed. He went to what do you call it? What's it called where you go to jail when you're a kid?
Juvenile detention.
Juvenile detention, yeah. And he went in there and he got in so many fights, they sent him to the prison.
to
Pennsylvania
the
prison.
adult prison.
Yes, and he was only 14, 15 years old.
How well did he probably kicked ass there too?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So he ended up getting out of jail, and the wrestling coach tells him, "Hey, Mark," he comes to my house and knocks on our door, the wrestling coach, and he says, "I want to talk to your son, Mark." He told my parents. So he comes in and he says, "Mark, listen, I want you to take out your aggression on a wrestling mat. Okay, you don't have to fight anymore. You can go out on the wrestling mat and take your aggression out on there." So my brother Mark started wrestling, and that's how the family started wrestling.
Right.
And we became a wrestling dynasty because my brother Mark started it.
Now, how good was he? Like, I mean, he's such a badass.
His
in real
first
life.
year, he went to state in Pennsylvania, which is.
His
second year, he was an All-American.
Yeah, I mean, like going to state and let's say, North Dakota is one thing, but going to state in Pennsylvania. Or Iowa or something like that, right?
Yeah, a lot better states. But yeah, he had an incredible career, and unfortunately, he went to college. Arizona State wanted to pick him up, but his grades weren't good, so he had to go to junior college 1 year. And he already had a kid, and he was married, and his wife got pregnant again, and he had no choice. He had to move home and get a job. So he ended his career that way, which was sad. But he picked up with us, with my brothers Johnny and David and Eric and myself. So he started training us along with my dad. And
did your dad, did he dabble in wrestling, or he just knew the moves by watching the coaches coach you?
He knew the moves by watching.
So he'd be like,
my brother wrestled.
He'd be like, give him a whizzer,
Yeah.
single, switch.
He'd be yelling his head off. Yeah. Yeah, but when I started, I sucked. I got pinned all the time. My first year I was 1-15, and
so they were calling you Fish, right? Fish.
Oh yeah. I was a puss. I was man. I was a crybaby. I cried I pretended I was injured. My family doubted if I'd ever be good at wrestling. They really did, and the light bulb went off in my head when my dad got killed in a construction accident.
Oh.
I was a freshman in high school, and he got killed in a construction accident. And losing him was really tough because he was our biggest supporter. He never missed any of our sporting events. Even if the event was earlier in the day and he had to leave work early, he showed up. And I loved him for that. So I dedicated my athletic career to my father. When I did that,
what a dude!
I started winning.
What a guy's guy!
Winning.
Construction dude, 4 or 5 badass sons, just a Midwestern blue collar ass kicking guy, right?
Yeah, and you know what? I forgot to tell you, we're going to do a movie about my.
Yeah, we were seeing that, and is your dad going to be? I mean, with the relationship and everything, and your dad bringing you up, is that going to be part of the deal?
Yes, it is. Actually, it's going to be about just my Olympic wrestling career all the way to the Olympics. What the directors want to do is they want to do 2 films. First film is about my Olympic career. There was just too much content for me my whole entire life.
Right.
Because of my pro wrestling career and my amateur wrestling career. So they want to do one about me leading up to the Olympics, and then a second one with WWE and TNA.
It'd be how about you're younger, like growing up? Like, I mean, is that
it's going to start when I was just a little kid.
Right.
So it's going to work up till the Olympics.
Who's playing Kurt Angle?
We haven't picked him yet, but I believe right now we have we're considering certain people. We're going to pick our cast next month, but what we do have, and he's also a producer of our movie, is John Bernthal is going to play my father.
Okay.
John Bernthal was he was in The Walking Dead. He's the Punisher. Very successful actor. He's actually my nephew.
Now, was your dad? What was your dad's first name? Your dad's first name?
Dave.
Was Dave so badass that he could whip any of you? Even Mark, he could literally just look at Mark, and Mark would back it right on down to 0.
Yeah, my brother Mark feared him. He was the only person on the planet my brother Mark feared.
Right,
right. He knew he couldn't take my dad. And I don't know if it was just a psychological thing, but yeah, he backed down to my dad all the time.
Now, out of all your kids, Kurt, is there any of them are wrestling, and which one's the bat? Like, not that I'm trying to have a favorite or not, but do you have one that's really, really, really shining out good, to be good?
Well, my son Joseph wrestled for 1 year. We adopted him from Bulgaria. He was in ninth grade, and he decided to wrestle his senior year. And I was like, "Why do you want to wrestle this year? You should have wrestled when you first came here." He's like, "Dad, I just want to try it." So I let him try it, and he actually won 11 matches,
Oh, okay.
which is pretty impressive for a first-year wrestler on varsity. But I have a daughter that's 8 years old, Nicoletta. She's wrestling. My brother Eric's training her, and I think she's going to be a good one.
Yeah, now I like Indiana just adopted girls wrestling. So
Yeah,
a lot of states are adopting, girls
they
on
are.
girls
Yeah.
wrestling, which that there's those girls are tough as hell. I mean,
Yeah, now the women are going to have NCAA championships in college.
I know. Isn't
So there are
that
going to be women wrestling in college. Yeah. Yeah,
that's
it's growing quickly, man. This sport is there. There are a couple of pro leagues that are starting now. It's crazy. So wrestling's just because of social media and because of MMA, wrestling is becoming like a not a secondary sport anymore. It's like a primary sport.
And
And
do you think that with the resurgence of the WWE, Triple H, and his infusion, do you think that that's helping the younger generation want to wrestle, folk style?
yeah, because what WWE is doing is they're hiring amateur wrestlers that were wrestling in the Olympics or won national titles in college. So they're getting these wrestlers and they're turning out to be incredible professional wrestlers. So now the WWE is looking more and more at amateur wrestling. So it has opened up doors for amateur wrestling.
I
Yes.
mean, but will anybody ever in the history of pro wrestling, and I'm talking from your TNA years to your WWE years, will there ever be anybody that's a better shoot style? And people would say, well, maybe Brock Lesnar, but we told the story many a times how you beat Brock Lesnar, and you can or you did. But will there ever be anybody? I don't think there'll ever be anybody amateurly as decorated as you. You'll probably go down as the all-time greatest, amateur wrestler to make the transition over to pro.
Probably, but you never know. I know that I was looking forward to seeing Gable Stevenson, his career, and actually it didn't fare. It didn't work out very well for him. He ended up trying out for the Buffalo Bills and then doing some MMA, and then he ended up going back to college because of NIL. And
Yeah,
he's getting
yeah.
paid big bucks right now. He still had 1 year of eligibility left. He won an Olympic gold medal in college, and he came back and he's wrestling at Minnesota this year. And the NIL they're paying him big bucks at Minnesota for him to wrestle.
So when you worked back in the day, Kurt, and you get a guy in there that might be throwing hammers or might be just a little too fast, needs to slow down, doesn't know the psychology of it, you always had the advantage where, you could, if it got south, you could shoot style put the guy in his place. Would any big names that, and we're not throwing anybody under the bus, but like, is there any did a Cena ever come in a little too hot, or did did a Big Show ever come in a little too hot and you had to kind of settle him down a little bit?
No, because they never tested me. Nobody ever tried me. They had enough respect for me not to do it. And you know what? Even if they did, I probably wouldn't have done anything. Because me believing this, I believe nobody ever had intentions of trying to hurt me. I think if they would have done something, it would have been they would have stiffed me. It would have been by accident. But you never know. I mean, somebody could go in there and say, "Hey, I want to fuck Kurt Angle up."
Well, here's the other, but here's the other end of the spectrum. You were, because I know the boys, at least some of them. You had the reputation of throwing hammers.
Yes,
like that
I was.
that was.
Stiffy.
I mean, listen, when I used to hang out with Hogan back in the day, Hogan would be like, "Damn, that guy worked so fast and so stiff. I had to get out of the ring and tell him to slizzo dizzown, Kurt." He says you just that was kind of you. You came in just throwing the hammers.
Oh, when I wrestled Hogan, I was all over him.
Oh, he told me. How about when you wrestle a guy like the Taker? The elder statesman of the locker room. Would Taker say
Taker never complained, man. I would lay into him too, and we had some really intense matches. He was the most versatile big guy I've ever been in the ring with. He was gold. I mean, we were able to do so many incredible things in the ring because of his athleticism. We would do submission trade-offs and false finish trade-offs, and the match when we got done with it, it was If you want to watch a perfect match, watch No Way Out 2006, Kurt Angle versus Undertaker for the world title. It's one of the greatest matches of all time, and I give that Undertaker all the credit for it because him being that big of a guy, 7 foot tall, 320 pounds, to be able to move like that and to be able to do the stuff he did, it's just nothing short of amazing.
You know, and the biggest pop he would get is when you get him down, he'd be down, and all of a sudden he'd just like that stiff mummy just raised straight up, and then they'd hit the bell, and people would just pop, and then you'd oversell on the deal, like how in the hell did this guy survive this? And then it was just there was so much great philosophy involved. It just wasn't straight work. It was working the crowd, the timing, the whole 9 yards. And take. I have nothing but just great things. Taker is such a good dude and such a good ambassador of the sport too. Moving.
Yes, he is.
Now, are you still doing stuff with Conrad still, or are you?
No, I haven't done anything with Conrad for a while. What happened was I was doing my podcast for a while, and my directors of my movie told me to stop doing it because they don't want me to give away my stories.
Right.
So I stopped it right away, and all I've been doing now is working on that movie.
Right. When do they start shooting, or are they shooting, or I guess you're just picking a cast?
The end of the summer. They got the script done. We're picking a cast. We're close to getting all the money that we need for fundraising. So we're going to start shooting at the end of the summer.
Oddly enough, I have a documentary that's coming out first week of May that I'd actually like to send you for you to look at because you're one of the boys, because it's about the Hogan sex tape, and it's called Video Killed the Radio Star, and it really, really breaks down what really happened because most of the boys, and listen, I know most of the boys hate me. Most of the boys don't really know the story as to how it happened. It's nothing. Doesn't make Terry looked bad in any light because he was a victim as I was, and it really is something that I think is going to get a lot of attention and not clear my name because I'm certainly not innocent in it 100%, but there was a lot of fuckery that happened in that whole thing that people don't know about.
No, I can imagine, man. I know how people blow shit out of proportion, so I understand that.
Like for instance, at TNA, I should probably ask you, but at TNA, I think I had real heat. I think the boys really hated me because they knew that I was a Hogan come along or a Hogan shove down. And really the only friends I had at TNA were you, Nash, and Terry Taylor. Those are the only three dudes that would talk to me. But did I have real heat at TNA?
You know what, Bob? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I remember the story when it occurred, but no, nobody said I fucking hate that Bubba. Yeah, nobody.
Well, hold on. Awesome Kong did because she sputted the shit out of me.
Oh yeah, that's
remember
right.
That? Yeah. She me and Scott Hall are walking back from catering, and she attacks me because I'd said something about Haiti on my radio show earlier that day, and she got full fucking hot on the deal. She starts throwing hammers on me, and Hall goes, "Hey, bro, this wasn't on the pre-taping sheet. I think this is a shoot." And so she's throwing fucking hammers on me, and I can't fight her back because I just can't.
She's a woman.
Yeah. And so Dixie and Hogan, they all get me in a room, and I say, "Listen, guys, what we should do is come back with a match with this and have her just beat the shit out of me like a Bobby Riggs, Billie Jean King deal. Have her just beat the absolute shit out of me, take it to a pay-per-view, have me win with a DQ fuck job to keep the story going." But they didn't. That would have been a good angle, I thought.
Actually, it would have been intriguing. Yeah, you're absolutely right, man.
I didn't realize. I know you got to get going here in a few minutes. I didn't realize how long you'd been with TNA, Kurt. That you were there for what?
Oh, I was longer than WWE. 11 years. I was in WWE 6.5.
Now, was that Jeff Jarrett?
Then I went back to WWE 2 years.
Yeah. Now, was that what Jeff Jarrett, Dixie, and then the other owners?
Yes. What do you mean the other owners?
No, what didn't Dixie then sell it to the Corbin guy or something like that? I forget.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what happened there because for some reason Dixie sold the company out from under. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I just know that he did invest in the company, and I don't know. Somehow somebody else ended up buying the company. So I don't know what happened.
Has AEW taken a shot at you at all?
Yeah. Tony Khan called me. He wanted me to wrestle. I I told him I would do one match for him. And the only reason I was just entertaining the idea because I wasn't serious about it. But I said, if I'm going to wrestle for you, it's going to be one match for $3 million. And he was like, I can't do that, Kurt. I'm sorry. I said, that's all right. I was just taking a chance.
You and Jericho would be huge.
Yeah, I haven't wrestled Chris since the WWE.
No, but you know, first of all, he knows how to work like $1 million. He'll put you way over,
yes,
and if you're getting that kind of payday, fuck, why not, huh?
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would have loved to wrestle Chris again.
He's a good kid. He was always good by you, was he not?
Yeah, I love Chris.
Triple H,
a lot of respect for him.
Triple H.
I did his cruise once. Wow, what a blast! So much fun.
How are you and Triple H doing? And now that Triple H has kind of seemed to take Vince's role in things, do you think that there's going to be a lot of differences, or is it the kind of the new regime where a guy can get a chance, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think Triple H is doing a great job. Actually, I have a lot of respect for him too. He's taken the company over along with the owners, TKO. They're a great organization. I think that WWE is just going to get bigger and better.
And don't forget about the Rock. I mean, the Rock's involved in that too.
Yeah, the Rock's heavily involved. So, having him a part of it is huge. So
I know
they're on their way.
What if they called you up and said, "Hey, you and Rock, WrestleMania"?
You know what? I can't wrestle anymore.
You can wrestle like a big man. Few little bumps here and there. A little 1, 2, 3 quick cover. You would.
Not only can I not wrestle, but my wife would kill me if I did.
Yeah, not if you're making $3.5 million. She'd say, "Get your bald ass up
You're
in there."
Right. You're right about that. I got to get someone to pay me $3.5 million.
Hey, I know you got to get going, my friend. But listen, let's do this again. And as you get closer to your movie being done and promoting it and all that kind of stuff, I've been your friend for a long time. You've been a really true friend to me, and I'm gonna get your email for Lummy because I'd like to send you that doc, and I'd like your opinion on it. I'd like your opinion on it.
I'll check it out, man. No doubt.
I appreciate it.
Hey, don't forget kurtangle.org. That's where you can donate money to USA Wrestling.
Yes, to help
kurtangle.org. I'm raising money for these wrestlers, so they don't have to get jobs. I want them to focus solely on training and competition.
So we can beat those stinking ass Russians and Chinese that don't have to
we're
have
the
to
best
work.
country in the world right now, and that's because we have people that are supporting the wrestlers.
kurtangle.org. We'll continue to promote that. Kurt, let's have you on again when you have some time, my friend. You look like $1 million, my friend, and I'm so honored for you to pick up the phone and go on the show with us. And I'll be emailing that stuff to you soon, my friend. Okay.
All right, man. I missed you, dude.
I missed you too. I missed some of the good times we used to have when we were be fucking around. So
we had a lot of fun, man. You're right.
We did, my friend. And listen, I'm gonna get that to you, and really I'd like your honest take on it. Like, don't bullshit me because I know you won't.
No, I won't bullshit. You know that.
All right, my man. Hey, Kurt, good luck to you. kurtangle.org. kurtangle.org.
Take care, brother.
Thank you, Kurt. Appreciate you.
All right.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Man, that started off not great.
What do you mean started off not great?
Well, no, I mean it was like you asked him that question about bringing wrestling back.
Well, I
to
got my
Olympics.
email. I mean, I could put the email on show. So
wait, what did you say?
Well, no, because the way he put it out to me, just like the Kurt Angle, I don't even want to really.
No, hold
bring it
on.
up.
I think it started out not great, funny.
Yeah.
Because Kurt,
I'm not screwing.
I think Kurt was trying to. I think Kurt was checking on me.
No, but here's the deal. If it would have been a guy that didn't have a relationship with him and made that big of a mistake and didn't know his shit, I think Kurt would have maybe like, "Hey, listen, I got to go." But Kurt knew that. Kurt and I, literally, I've had him on longer than any other content and or radio provider ever. Him and I, there have been many a times, back in the TNA days, where it would just be me and Kurt back in the back. He was always drinking coffee. and it would be me, him, and Kevin Nash just bullshitting. So him and I are true friends.
He was my during the Attitude Era. I mean, him and The Rock were my favorite, and Kurt Angle was my favorite for a while.
I mean, honestly, I was looking at my email.
I think we got probably a couple good little.
No, we did
for the A&E deal and Tony Khan and all that kind of stuff. I know I kind of reminisced and went down my little path a little bit, and probably didn't get all the questions.
Yeah, I did a bunch of prep for nothing. Bullshit.
We'll have them on.
Sorry, I think Kurt. Bubba, I look at my email and I think that's why Kurt ran with it, because even the email, it was living the dream. The one I sent you, and he put, that's the one I need you to promote and tell Bubba. We need to bring real good wrestling to the Olympics. We need to save wrestling in the Olympics. We need help with the Olympics. So I mean,
but what he was really saying was we need to help these athletes,
right?
But he didn't put the athlete. But he gave me that website, and then even at the end, he's like KurtAngle.org.
But he gave us a lot of good, like for instance, I'd wrestle Chris Jericho for $3 million at AEW. We'll get that one out. We'll get the hey, Triple H is killing it, and the new company's killing it. We'll get the fact that Taker was probably the most talented person he ever worked with. There's probably a lot of good excerpts that Gary and Rhett can get out of there.
Listen, I mean anything. I mean, even him just talking about wrestling, like the collegiate.
Yeah,
the NIL, just raising the money, all that stuff is good.
Talking about his brother being the baddest son of a bitch ever, and then promoting his movie, and anything that we make bit or reels wise, let's make sure that we get them to him.
Okay.
So hey, Kurt, we've made some various clips because he might repurpose them.
Oh, of course.
I don't know what his social numbers are, but I bet they're big. Yeah,
he's popular on social media.
I wanted to get into a couple things that I didn't get into. I wanted to get into his opinion of Matt Riddle, because Matt and him both come from the shoot style type of deal.
1.9 million on Instagram.
Yeah. I wanted to get into what kind of money did he make back in the day with TNA. I wanted to get into the fact that he was the guy that broke John Cena in 2002 on a clean roll up.
He wanted to retire wrestling Cena.
They fucked him on his last match, dude. Vince completely fucked Kurt Angle.
Oh, I know. I wanted to get into that.
Had him go against Baron Corbin,
he said that he couldn't make it another year to make it to Cena.
I wanted to talk about what he thought about Big Show being in the AEW. I wanted to talk about that Pruder guy they were doing that, they were working, but the Pruder guy came in and shot on him and had Kurt really fucked up on some kind of MMA shit.
Oh,
the
MTV show,
the SmackDown Tough Enough.
Yeah,
and he had this one kid come in and Kurt broke the kid's ribs, and then the Pruder guy tapped in and really got Kurt in a. Kurt was just working, so he wasn't really defending against a shoot, and this Pruder guy shot on him and could have broke Kurt's arm.
And Angle had a bad neck too; he couldn't even really move.
Right. So let's give it a. Give me his email.
I did. I sent it to you.
I'm gonna get the 3 episodes to him, and then you know what, Seth? I could maybe use him to or some reactions when I have him back on to help me promote the video.
Yeah, that's true. Lummy, have you seen it yet, Lummy?
No.
You would have a juicy reaction, right?
How about this?
Seth, have you seen it?
How about this?
No, I haven't seen it, Lummy.
How about this?
But I hope Kurt Angle finds it well.
How about this?
I heard from fans it was good.
Today I'm going to get it to you, all 3 of it, to you 3, to you 2. And
can you put me on the same email as Kurt Angle, please?
I can put you on the same. Right?
Seth, you'll laugh at Kurt's email address. So
is he an AOL guy like me?
I did not say that, Bubba.
Is he an AOL guy like me?
Just because multiple athletes that I've booked on here use AOL.
Hey. So I'll tell you what. What I'm going to do, Lummy, is I'm going to put Kurt on it and attach all 3. And then in the blind, I'm going to put you and Seth. You guys will be on the blind copy, so you'll get copies of it as well. Sweet. And I would like if you guys could by Friday
Oh.
No, hold on. How about
Musk
no. How about this?
Yeah.
How about this? How about by Monday? Because it gives you the weekend. If I get it to you today, you got till Monday to watch all 3. That gives you this weekend too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think that's unreasonable.
No, Friday would have been Friday's crazy. And that's like today and tomorrow.
Yeah. So, but Monday, Monday's good, right?
Monday's cool. Yeah, you'll forget anyway. So
No, I won't.
What, to send it to us?
He'll forget. He'll forget that he sent it to us.
I got to do that. I'm going home. I'm rounding up the 3 because I got them, and I'm giving them to you.
I think Angle would really pop on the documentary, just from what I've heard about it, and I think that.
But here's the deal.
You think he's got time for 3 eps?
Let me. Here's the deal. One of your jobs is to kiss my ass, make me feel special. Stockholm Willie.
Yes, sir.
But I really want, and Seth, you as well. I don't have to ask Seth this as much as I have to ask you, but if you have some constructive criticism, it might actually help. We're in the final stages of this thing. And if there's something that you see is glaringly wrong or something that you see, let me know. And you probably won't find anything that's glaringly wrong or glaringly factually wrong, but just tell me your opinion of it if you could for me.
What if I feel like it needs a total reshoot? And like a tinkering of the script. Should I just keep that to myself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep it to yourself.
All right.
I mean, listen, I'm not trying to be a dick, which I guess I'm going to be a dick. The last thing I found stalled it for going on like 5 months now. So I'm just going to give you my true opinion on probably how great it is. So the Bubba Army app, I found the one problem that has stalled it for 5 months now. And it's really pissed me off. I'm the one who found it.
What one thing was holding up?
The one thing that is put it all back in now, so hopefully it will get released.
Yeah, but hold on. Had you not found that?
Oh, it would have been a huge fucking problem.
That's what I'm saying. So the one thing that you found has caused us a 4 to 5 month delay, but it would have been probably just absolutely a shitstorm.
We would have been a fucking dog shitted on.
Right. So please, I don't think you're going to find anything like that.
Probably not.
I just want your true opinion. I want your true opinion, and I want you to take a step out of my life and be more like maybe a listener and or a casual fan, or maybe even a person that's not familiar with me.
May I show Ashley? Because she'll give you a true opinion.
No. Listen, the caveat to me sending this to you
is that you played for Walker also.
No, is that you don't let your kids watch it, but I would prefer if you have your wives with you, because I'd like they actually will probably have better questions and comments than you because you're too close to it. I would love Phoebe's opinion. Does it make sense to Phoebe? Can she follow along? Does there any part that loses her? Is there any part that she doesn't understand? And let me same with Ashley.
Okay.
So I would, I'm sure that you guys, when you watch movies or documentaries, sometimes do them together. So if you could watch it with your significant other, I'd appreciate that. We're getting to be crunch time. I was on the phone with the lawyers yesterday on some concerns. I was actually kind of yelling yesterday.
Really?
Well, they're just so fucking. I'm like, how in the fuck can this one publication publish this, and this, but we can't show it under the Fair Use Act? How the fuck? They showed it. A major newspaper had it on the front page of something. But we can't show that as part of the documentary under the fair use law? I don't fucking get it. How were they able to use it the first time? Well, they're not trying to. What do you mean they're not trying to profit from it? They're trying to sell fucking, they're trying to sell newspapers at $2.25 a newspaper. And it's on the front page of their fucking newspaper. So, anyway. I'm going to get it to you guys by 1 o'clock today. You'll have it. And Kurt, too. Send me Kurt's...
I sent it to you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, I'm done. This, Seth, this was some good added value, right?
Yeah, was this for everybody or just behind? Yeah, this is good.
I mean, this is going to end up being a podcast, hopefully, too.
It will be.
Right. Kurt Angle interview. Perfect. I'm starving.
You got a bunch of pancakes, by the way, in the fridge.
Yeah, those aren't good for you. Those are so bad for you. They're like 10,000 calories. All right, man. See y'all. Appreciate you.